Medical Beauty blog. Welcome back to another video. It's been a while, hey? It's been a while since I last did sit down like proper dedicated video. I've been vlogging like a crazy person, but today I decided that, you know what, let me actually stop procrastinating this video and finally just film it. And so here we are. So today's video is a Q&A on studying in Russia. So I've been collecting all the questions that you guys keep sending to my DMs, leaving on the videos and all that jazz. So I decided that, you know what, let me just compile all those questions and just have one dedicated video to all those questions and just address them and answer them. And however, this does not mean that once I've answered these questions, you can't ask me other questions in the DMs or in the comment section. You can most definitely ask me other questions, and I will definitely answer again. And hopefully, I'll have enough questions to prepare another Q&A. And please ask me more, like different questions from the ones that I'm going to answer right now, because it seems like it will be like repetitive for me to be constantly answering the same things. But once I answer them in the Q&A, please come up with new questions that you can ask me, and then we'll talk about them. So for those of you who don't know me, hi, my name is Noltando. My channel name is Medical Beauty Blog. My friends call me Tando, and I'm a South African who is studying medicine in Russia. I'm in my 6th year now, in the final semester for the year. So graduation is loading. Can't wait. So if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my phone because that's where all my questions are. Like, I just wrote them in my note app there. I have like 15 questions. Yo guys, 15. So first question is, what can I do to prepare for studying in Russia? This is a broad question. So preparing can be documentations, it can be packing. I have a video where I talk in detail on both topics, packing and documents. So the documents you need it's your passport pictures. You have to have passport size pictures, extra ones with you, definitely. You have to have your matric certificate. You have to have your qualification. If you have any qualification, you have to have that with you. In terms of packing, you can pack by starting with the small items like your inners. You can start with vests, t-shirts and camisoles, those type of stuff, like the first things that you wear. Those are the things that you start with. You can even buy enough underwear and bras. They do sell them here, but their measurements and their cup sizes are like different from the ones that we use at home. So I've never bought a bra or underwear here in Russia. I've always bought them from home and just came with them here. Make sure that you pack warm clothes, a lot of warm clothes, but don't buy jackets. I wouldn't advise you to buy jackets from home. I would advise you to buy your jackets here, because the weather from home and here, it's completely different. For instance, currently right now the weather is like -10, and as you can see, so the jacket that you might wear at home might not be compatible, or it might not provide you with the warmth you need for the weather that is here. So I feel like it was best for you to buy your jackets when you get here. That way you won't have a lot of clothes in your luggage, and then you won't exceed the luggage limit, because there is a luggage limit. For instance, from what I remember, the luggage limits for Emirates is like 23 kg. So there's that you have to consider. Also, quick disclaimer please before I continue. Most of the questions or most of my answers are based on my personal experience. They are based on Astrakhan, because that's where I'm based, and my experience can be different from somebody else's experience. So don't say to me, oh, but why is someone else saying this? Because we don't all go through the same situations, because even our teachers, sometimes they're different. One group can have teachers, so a male teacher for instance, another group can have a female teacher for the same course, or for the same subject. So there's that differences that are there. So my experiences from another person might be different. I don't know if I make sense, but that's a disclaimer that I have. Question number 2, is Ruckus legit? Yes, Ruckus is legit. I use Ruckus from South Africa. I've used it since 2015, since I got here, and I'm still using Ruckus of South Africa. Now, other students from other countries, their agents just stop at when they land in Russia. They no longer interact with them or find out how they're doing. But the one in South Africa, they still take care of me. They still book my flights. They still make sure that I'm good. If I have problems, I report to them. That if like the problems are beyond me, especially if like the problems involve the school, then I report to them. Then they know how to help me. Sometimes they are able to help, sometimes they are not, because at the end of the day, they are not Russians, they're just agents that are based in South Africa. So Russians honestly have a mind of their own. If they want to do something, they do it their way. It's either their way or the highway. Sometimes they don't even care how you feel about it, whether you think it's right or wrong. For them, it is what they said it is, and it ends there. So yeah, I really don't even have much information about other agencies because I don't know them. I can hear about them, and it would be unfair of me to come to you guys and tell you guys or answer you guys on hearsay information. I prefer to give information that I have personal experience with, rather than tell you that, oh, I heard from someone saying, because things can be lost in translation, or so I just prefer to be like based on my experiences. And if I answer you and tell you that I really don't know, be like truthfully, I don't know. It's not something that I've experienced. It's not something that I've gone through. If I have experienced it, I'll tell you. If I haven't, then I didn't. Question number 3, how did you raise the funds and find accommodation? So I raised the funds. My family or parents helped me for the first 2 years. They were the ones that got a loan to pay for my fees first 2 years, and then after that I was awarded the bursary from the Mpumalanga provincial offices. Now, in terms of the bursary, I started applying I started seeking funding from the provincial offices in the Department of Education bursary section in 2015, after my first year, which was 2016. So after my first year, in June 2016, I went to the provincial offices with my agent and other students that were already studying in Russia to seek funding. And they told us that, okay, they will first send students the following year. They will send students from September 2016, and then they will see what they can do for us. So they first had to send students, and then after that, after my second year, 2017, June, I went back again to the offices and asked them, please, can I have funding? And then 2017 September, I got the bursary. That was when I started my third year. Accommodation, it comes with the institution. You apply and you get accommodation. You stay in the hostels. And now, fortunate enough, there's 2 different hostels. There's the hostels that the university own, and then there's the Ruckus hostels. However, Ruckus hostels are more expensive than the university hostels, but they are way better. The Ruckus hostels are way better than the university hostels. And then you can only move into an apartment from second year. That's what I know. From second year, that's when you can start to stay in an apartment. They don't allow you to stay from first year. So how did you get the scholarship, sis? Like I just said, that's how I got the scholarship. When you finish your 6th year, will you come back here, which is South Africa, and work, or will you do 2 years first? So the 2 years first, they're talking about the fact that we were once told that we'd have to do 2 years of internship in the country where we're studying, but that has obviously not been implemented. So we're back to the old system of the board exam. even though right now they're trying to implement a new one, but it still has not been implemented, so we're still looking at the old system. And yes, I'll be coming home to South Africa once I'm done with my 6th year, because my scholarship entails that after my 6th year I have to go and serve the country for the amount of years that they've paid for. So for instance, they've paid since my 3rd year, which means I have to go and serve back home for 4 years. Disadvantages for studying there. Disadvantages can be the language barrier. It gets tricky, and Russian language is difficult. And also from 4th year, especially in Astrakhan, you start to study in Russian. Like some of the subjects are in Russian, where the teacher literally expects you to understand whatever he or she is saying, and they actually find it hard to believe that you actually don't understand the language. So you have to like try and find means to make sure that you understand. And by God's grace, for me, I have classmates that understand the language, so it's easier when you have people around you that understand the language, so they can translate for you. So for me, my Russian language is pretty poor, like especially the medical one. The medical one, oh my God, it's non-existent. The medical one is just, but because we have students in class that can sometimes help us to translate, it makes life easier for us. So if you don't have people like that, then I honestly would advise you to actually study and know the language. For me, it was God's grace. To God. How did you apply for bursaries and loans? Like I mentioned before, the loans, it was my family that dealt with that. There are student loans, there are working people loans that you can apply for, but bear in mind that it is expensive, and yeah, it depends on what your family's budget and their affordability. And then the bursaries, like I mentioned, I started applying for my 1st year after finishing my 1st year in Russia in 2016, because my 1st year started in 2015. Then I finished it in June 2016. Then I went to the provincial offices. Then after that, a 2nd year started in September 2016. I went back to the provincial government at the end of 2nd year, June 2017, applying for funding, and then I got a positive response in September 2017, when my 3rd year started. That's when I started to get the funding. Is transport cheaper? Yes, transport is cheaper. For instance, 100 Rand is 500 rubles. So 1000 Rand is 5000 rubles. And transport is 25 rubles to go, and to come back it's another 25, so 50 rubles in total, which is 10 Rand. So 25 rubles is equivalent to 5 Rand, and yeah, so that's 10 Rand. If you have multiple transports that you have to use, then that's where it will be expensive. If you now want to use cabs like your Ubers, then that's also now going to be more expensive. You can pay from like 100 Rand and so forth, depending. Sometimes it's actually cheaper than 100 Rand. It can be like 50, 25, 50 Rand, 60, 80 Rand, right about there. That's how like the cheapest. But the cheapest one is the bus, the common transport, which is like 5 Rand. Question number 9. I was seeing your live. You look so happy there. Is it that nice, or maybe you choose happiness? Honestly, I'm someone who chooses happiness. I'm someone who depends on myself to make myself happy. I don't rely on people around me or the environment or anything like that. I choose to make myself happy, because when you do that, when you live off of other people's energy, it gets taxing when they don't now give you the energy that you need at that moment. I do live off other people's energy. Like if you come to me in a down mood, chances are you will dampen my own mood. But I am now teaching myself to rely on my own mood and be able to hold up my own mood instead of relying on the next person. So also in the same breath, it's also nice to be here. In terms of the family that I have created around myself. There's so many other students that we have here, and we interact and get along with each other so well. It's like a small family that I have. We go out, we have fun, we have bonfires, we have picnics, we have fun. We try and have fun. We make do with what we have, because all work and no playing makes Jane a very dull girl. So we don't want to be dull over here. We just want to have fun and enjoy our experiences in a foreign country. Also, this number 10 is basically, when did I apply for the scholarship? But I've mentioned above that I started applying after my first year, went back to on my second year, and then finally I got it for my third year. Number 11 is it only given to Mpumalanga residents? Because it's a provincial scholarship, so yes, Mpumalanga will give to Mpumalanga residents, Gauteng will give to Gauteng residents, KwaZulu-Natal will give to KwaZulu-Natal residents. Now, the scholarships that I know that I've been given is from Mpumalanga and Gauteng. Those two provinces I am 100% sure of. Other provinces, I'm really not sure. I am really not sure. So you would need to have to go to your provincial Department of Education bursary section or Department of Health to find out this information, if they're awarding any bursaries or not. Now, however, I've heard that all funding is going to the pandemic, so they're not really sending students out. That's what I've heard. I'm not quite sure. So please go to your provincial offices and inquire there and get as much information as you can. And also, them closing their doors doesn't mean that you should stop going to knock. Like I said, I went there after my first year, even after my second year, I went back. Go back, be consistent. And for me saying that I went back after my first year, I'm not saying I went back once. There were days when I was told to wake up at 6 a.m. to go to Nelspruit to see them. I would wake up at 6 a.m. to reach a meeting that starts at 8. I would wake up at 6 from Ngomazi, get on a bus, or even catch a ride from my parents, go to the provincial offices to meet up with them. Have meetings upon meetings. They would tell me to come back, another meeting. I don't remember how many times I've been in Nelspruit at the Department of Education bursary section asking for funding. They even know me there by now. I am definitely sure they know me by name, because I was practically living there when I was home for holidays. I really didn't enjoy my holidays, because after my practicals, I would be doing practicals, then I would be going to their offices asking for fund. That was my life. So when they tell you that they're not giving, it could be that they're not giving funds now, but to prove to them that you're so serious and you really need the help and you're desperate, I would advise you to consistently go there and keep on asking for help. And I kid you not, they will answer you. Number 12 is, so after your degree, what then? I come back home after my degree, I wait to write my board exam, I then start internship, if that is what I will be starting to do. If I have to do 1 year of student intern, that's what I would do. It just depends on what the HPCSA will be telling me to do, then that's what I would do. Number 13, how did you convince your parents about the legitimacy of studying medicine in Russia? Honestly, my parents trusted me, and another boost for me was a friend of mine who our parents are friends, so it assisted, because she was also interested in coming to Russia. So we were both able to convince our parents in terms of that. But my parents really trusted me. Yeah, they did have concerns about human trafficking, fraud, and all that jazz. But once they met with my agent and spoke to the man, they were on board, they were convinced. And if you want to hear more about my story on how I got studying in Russia, I have a story time, and I will link it down below. I will put it somewhere up here at the corner, and you guys will find the story and you'll watch it, and then you'll understand how I got studying in Russia, my whole journey. What are the challenges that you faced? Language barrier has been the biggest challenge that I've faced here. The biggest is the language barrier, because sometimes you really can't do much if you don't understand. But I've met people here who have been lenient enough to explain, calm enough to explain what they mean to me and not rub me off. That's my major challenge, the language barrier. Besides that, the other challenge is clinicals are not that much. You don't really do much clinical work, so you rely a lot on your practicals when you go home, then that's where you get to learn. And fortunate enough for me, by God's grace, I get to work with doctors that are willing to teach me, that are willing to explain procedures to me, that are holding my hand and explaining everything as I go along. That helps. The advantages of studying here, I can even include funding as a disadvantage, because funding for some people can be difficult. Even for me, it was difficult in the beginning, but by God's grace, I was able to get my bursary and I'm sorted for now. But language, funding, lack of clinical experience, and yeah, I think those are the three major ones. Those are the things that I can mention. And I'm out of questions, guys. I've answered all the questions. Hope that's enough. I hope I made sense. I hope you guys find this video informative and interesting. And thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for the love. And like I always say, if I have information for you, I will share it. If you ask me anything and I tell you that I don't know, honest to God, I really don't know. I really don't know, because I'm trying to avoid answering you based on hearsay. I want to answer you based on my own experience and what I've been through, so that you can have that as a reference point, even though maybe your experience might be totally different from mine. I don't know if you understand me, but yeah. Anyway, let me end this video here before it gets too long. I hope you guys will subscribe. I hope you guys will share, comment, and like this video. You can comment any more questions that you have that I have not answered in this Q&A, and I will definitely get back to you on those. And please do engage in the comment section. I really enjoyed the engagement in my previous vlog. It's so amazing to see. Please interact and engage, and who knows, you might find the next person who wants to come to Russia, who might be even in the same school as you. So yeah, with all of that said, with love from me to you, may the good Lord ever stay blessing you. Thank you so much. I love you guys. I'll see you guys next time.